Filling out the 2020 census, a quick guide for staff working with parents. This is presented by Robin Gadsden Dupree. I'm the Family and Community Partnership Specialist for Training and Technical Assistance Services at Western Kentucky University. The purpose of this presentation was to help staff who will be communicating and working with families during this pandemic and beyond. It was designed to help walk families through the census form. It was also designed to be used to help families who are either filling out the paper version or who will want to fill out the online version. Keep in mind, staff, we want to remember when we're helping them with the census form, we're supposed to count all people living in the home as of April 1st. The 2020 census is required by law. It's important for our parents, for their families and our families, and the Head Start community, of which we all are part of. It is designed to help communities get needed resources, be it health, education, social services. It's conducted every 10 years. It's designed to count every single person living in this country, and it usually will take about 10 minutes. So let's get started. First, we want to ask parents if they received the 2020 census envelope in their mail. If they did not, we're going to talk about how to fill out the online version starting around slide 10. As Head Start staff, we want to be cognizant and mindful that we should be always providing supportive, comprehensive services. So helping a family fill out the census form is a part of that. We also want to remember that the census really is encouraging people to fill out the online version because it will be received in real time. So, for parents that have the 2020 census form, we can start looking at what it looks like to fill out. So if you notice, question 1 asks you how many people are living in the house or home or mobile home. Question 2 asks, are there any other additional people? Question 3 asks you if you own or rent. And question 4 asks for the telephone number. And just remember that the census will only contact people if they have questions. Now, family service staff and home visitors, you know your families. So for some families, they can fill this out on their own while you're talking with them. For others, you might have to ask more probing questions so they can fill it out accurately. Let's continue. This next page is very important because this is the beginning of identifying person 1. Person 1 typically will be the person that may pay the rent or the mortgage, the person that is the head of household. So if you're a single parent in that home and it's just you and your children or other people, then that's usually who person 1 is. So we start out with that person's first name and last name, whether they are male or female, their age on April 1st, their birthday, and then we note whether that person is of Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish origin, yes or no. And then number 9 asks what that person's race is. This page asks a question about person number 2 in the home. And remember, we're talking about all ages, infants, toddlers, seniors. As long as they live in the home, we want to count them. So this page asks for the name, first and last name, if the person usually lives or stays somewhere else, how that person is related to person number 1, granddaughter, daughter, brother, sister, mother, etc., the sex of that person, the birthday of that person, and age. Then we move on to, like we did in the question before, whether the person is of Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish origin. And then question 7 goes on to ask the person's race. Again, family services, home visitors, and other staff working with families. Since you know your families, you will be able to help them fill this portion out adequately. Now we just keep going. If there are 4 people, 5 people, 6 people, as many people who are in the home, we want to count them. So keep going until you get to the last person in the household. When you are finished, the parent can mail that form in the envelope provided. Note, no postage is needed to mail the census. Now, let's just say the person never got a form in the mail and you are contacting the parent to find out how they're doing, and you start to ask them if they filled out the census form, and they tell you no, and they never received it. Well, our next answer is, great, we can help you fill it out online. So we have them on their smartphone go to my2020census.gov, and the first thing that will appear is this graphic to the right that says shape your future, start here, start the questionnaire. Then you click that box. The next page will ask you to log in using the 12-digit census ID number. Well, if you didn't get the form, you don't have a 12-digit census ID number. So if you notice at the bottom of that box to the right, it says, if you do not have a census ID link ID, click here. You do that. Now, we begin the form, and we just click the appropriate box. So it asks a basic question. Please select where you will be living on April 1st. We click the box, then we continue. It will ask you to fill in your address, number, street, apartment or unit, city, state is a drop-down menu, and zip code. When we do that, we continue on to the next page. We keep filling out the form as mentioned earlier in the paper version until it's completed. After we complete the form, we want to double check and make sure that the parent has an accurate, up-to-date, current email address, because the census is going to send them a confirmation number and information. We also want to help families get, if they need it, a free email address. You could go through gmail.com and any other resources that are available to you. And if all else fails, if you are actually doing the form for the parent on your email account, you will use your email address, and parents can then get the confirmation from you. Either way, we want to make sure that the process is smooth, complete, Since you are the one that has the trusting relationship already established with families, this should be very easy because you know your families. Lastly, we'll want to just say congratulations. You helped Head Start parents advocate for themselves. I hope this was helpful. Goodbye.